These are such unprecedented times for corporate America. CEOs have really had to evolve and think differently about their approach because Trump is not a traditional Republican. He does not approach the business community in the same way.
He can block a corporate deal. He can do things in terms of regulations that other presidents wouldn't do.
So these are the 5 rules that we've put together based on reporting to help CEOs navigate this administration.
Rule number 1 is find a way in. We know for a fact that Trump is very receptive to direct calls from CEOs and other business leaders that he has a personal relationship with.
The only one that calls me is Tim Cook. He calls me whenever there's a problem.
Historically, you would have many hoops to jump through. You'd have many gatekeepers. That's changed. Trump likes meeting with CEOs and corporate leaders in the Oval Office.
Hearing there from the U.S. president hosting tech executives at the White House.
But not every CEO has Trump on speed dial. So if you're lacking that, you need to go to one of his trusted advisors. That might be Scott Bessent, that might be Susie Wiles, that might be Howard Lutnick, who are all responsible for vast parts of Trump's apparatus. The whole point is you have to find a way in one way or another. Rule number 2 is to quietly maneuver. For CEOs, they want to make sure that their investors and their stakeholders know that they are in the room with Trump. That is a huge boon for them. But what is said in the room then is not something that's going to be for public consumption whatsoever.
Another key part is really just signaling allegiance to the MAGA base, and that can include CEOs bringing gifts to Trump.
This is your Peace Prize. There is also a beautiful medal.
We've seen that with foreign governments. Qatar has tried to give him a new version of Air Force One.
The U.S. government is poised to accept an airplane from Qatar valued at nearly $400 million.
We saw that with Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, who brought this sort of gold statue to the Oval Office. Rule number 3 in the CEO Trump playbook is really to educate.
Let's take tariffs, for example. A CEO has to very carefully show Trump what actually happens, what are the sort of potential downsides to the American consumer of some of the tariffs he would like to implement. Now, what you cannot do is go forward and say tariffs are a bad policy. So this is a very unique process, but for CEOs who have figured it out, it can be beneficial.
Apple's been very clever about both personal diplomacy with President Trump that gives the company's views kind of a fair airing in the White House.
Rule number 4 is medium matters. If you don't want to call President Trump directly, one thing that you can do is you can speak to him through the news outlets that he watches and reads.
I want to tell you, I listened to a bunch of stuff last night on television. Many of you I know from reading all of our wonderful magazines.
CEOs, knowing this, have decided to maybe recalibrate where they are appearing, where they are speaking, and sort of what interviews they might be giving.
President Trump watched that interview and then changed his perspective.
If you know Trump's appetite for media, you kind of know exactly how to get your message in front of him.
Rule number 5 is everything is a transaction. When you're dealing with President Trump, he wants to be able to announce at the end of that interaction that there's a deal of some kind.
He walked in wanting to keep his job, and he ended up giving us $10 billion for the United States.
What this means for CEOs is that they need to bring something to the table that they can essentially trade.
That often can just be promises. It can be sort of a pledge to build a factory in a swing state, or a pledge to hire more workers somewhere, or a pledge to invest in the U.S.
President Trump will announce that Apple is going to commit to spend another $100 billion on domestic manufacturing. That's the latest pledge by the tech giant.
So I think a takeaway for CEOs looking to sort of build rapport with the White House is just that Trump wants to make a deal. He wants to be given information that he can use to tout the economy. And that is really the playbook for CEOs for Trump's second term.